Hi, this is Kerry with Filmmaker Central, and today we have a brand new light that's out, the FalconEyes F7 Pocket Light. So stay right there. We'll be right back. Welcome back, folks. We got a new product review today, and this is a brand new light that's just come out from FalconEyes. If you're not familiar with FalconEyes, just do a quick YouTube search since you're already on YouTube, and do a search on FalconEyes. You'll see some really cool lights that they have. The Sophia line is a round panel light that has LEDs around the outside that shoot towards the middle, give you a nice, flat, super soft light. I've always wanted some of those, and maybe I'll get some of those in the near future. But this time, FalconEyes sent me this new F7 Pocket Light to try out. Now, something about these, there's kind of a trend, if you will, right now in small LED lights. And you've seen all of those on this channel. Going back to what has been my favorite light for a while, the Bowling P1 Vlogger light. This has been super cool. And you can search on this, and a lot of guys have done videos on it. I actually learned about this from Gerald Undone, and I need to stop watching his stuff because I buy way too much gear based on his recommendations. But this has been a cool light. It's got a built-in handle, full RGB, daylight mode, bicolor mode, special effects modes. Very useful as a practical light. And in almost every video that you've seen for a while on this channel, you'll see a colored background back here, and that has been done with a Bowling P1. And today I'm using a Yongnuo YN 216 with a gel on it because I have this one in my hand. So this has been my go-to light for a while. Now, more recently, Digital Photo came out with their YY120, which is just a bicolor. So you have the warm color and adjustable to a cool color. Very handy for just a key light, rim light, hair light, things like that. Really affordable, where the Bowling was like $140. This was, I think, $40. But love this light. It's very useful. But today we're going to talk about the FalconEyes F7. So here's the box. We'll take the cover off. We've got a couple things that fell out. We have a little user manual, and we have the sticker that shows you the different special effects modes, but we'll get to that in a little bit. And then we have the light itself. Now, this is, at first glance, very similar to the Bowling P1. There's a few minor differences here. Let's kind of line up the LED panels. So the FalconEyes F7 is a bit taller. It's a little bit wider. Thickness-wise, they're pretty much identical. So not a big difference in the width or in the size. It's just the FalconEyes is just a little bit bigger. Basically, it has, let me see if I can, how well these line up. Basically, it has 2 more rows of lights than the Bowling P1. Now, they're both aluminum cases. The kind of a key difference here is on the FalconEyes, the controls are recessed into the aluminum case. I really like that. It kind of keeps them out of the way, keeps them from getting bumped and accidentally moved when you're doing adjustments, but they're still extremely accessible. Only adds maybe 4 millimeters to the size, so insignificant when it comes to adding the size to it. We have a set button that turns it on and off, as well as goes into the primary modes, the function key, which adjusts settings of the different functions, and then the dim control or brightness control. We have a USB-C connection on top for charging it. There's nothing on the other side, and there's a Q20 on the bottom. Now, where the YY120 had a Q20 on the bottom and the side, and the Bowling has this very unique built-in mount that's got like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 different Q20s on it, so you can adjust it pretty much indefinitely. It doesn't really matter if you have it on a little magic arm or a ball head. You get just as much functionality using this. So while that's a cool mount, it's overkill. You don't need 7 different attachment points. So there's that. They both have pretty much the same exact LED screen on the back. It looks literally to be identical, but the display is a little different. This one will show you your battery level and what mode you're in, basic information on your settings. It does have an RGB bar on the back, so you can go, well, I want like red, so that's going to be 360. I want, real blue, that's going to be around 240, I think, based on that. Wish that was a little bit bigger. And again, you could probably take this sticker and put it back here if you needed to remember what the different special effects modes are. But before we get into that, let's finish this unboxing. So let me take this cover out, and the first thing we see is this little pouch, and this kind of feels like neoprene, probably maybe even splash proof with this type of material, kind of like scuba diving gear. Got a strap on the back. Let's there's some stuff in here, so let's see what we got. Okay, a couple different things in here. We have a USB-C to USB-A cable. Pretty nice length, probably 2 feet or so, just looking at it. It's used for charging the light. There's no power brick, but who doesn't have some way of charging USB devices? So not too concerned that it didn't come with a power brick. I have power bricks everywhere. In fact, I even have them in my normal outlets. So no worries about charging it there. Let's see. Digging in here. We have a standard little cold shoe, hot shoe to 1/4 inch. So if you just wanted to slide it on your camera, or if you wanted to use your existing speed light clamps, you could use that. And then we have a nice little magic arm. Pretty interesting design. Most magic arms are solid. You can't really see the internals or how they work. This one is a cool open design. It feels like CNC'd aluminum. Very beefy. It actually has some heft to it. So just loosen that up, put things in whatever position you want. You're good to go. This is an impressive little unit. I love the fact that it came with something. Now, the only kind of downside to the magic arm is this one has a 1/4 20 on both sides. So if you're trying to mount it on a light stand or something that's got a 1/4 20 on top, there's no way to do that. It should come with a 1/4 20 to 1/4 20 female. That would have been a huge addition to this to be able to give it maximum flexibility in your mounting options. Okay, now, as cool as all this is, and like I said, it's a great value as it sits. It's like $10 more than the bowling light. You're getting a little more power out of it. You're getting a little more light out of it. There's a few more special effects out of it. What's left in the box here, I think, is what really separates the F7 from the other lights that we've looked at. So one problem that you run into with this style of light is when you're doing close-up product photography. You can physically see each individual LED on here, and they're separated, like the white ones are separated by, looks like about maybe 6 millimeters, because that's where the RGB lights are. So if you're doing product photography and you have the light fairly close, what's going to happen is your shadows are going to end up having banding in them. And there's just nothing you can do about it because the lights have physical separation. You're not getting a solid light source. And that holds true with all these lights right here. Now, let's look at the first thing that's in the bag. A really nice diffuser. So we just slide this guy on here. Now, this probably, and I'm getting very, very nitpicky here just because there's so few negative things to say about this light, but this cover, I've had it sitting vertical on a light stand and it tended to slip down. So I wish they would have just made it lip over the top a little bit so that that wasn't a problem. It's not really an issue, but I have had it happen that it has actually slipped down a little bit and got out of position. But that aside, what this is going to do for us, Oh my God, I have it on 100%. So we're going to turn it down. That's 8% right there. And now my shadows are very smooth. I don't have that same pixelated banding issue that I have without it. And speaking of turning it down, one of the cool features about this is its adjustment ability. I can go all the way down to 1% power. That's huge when it comes to lighting, especially when you're doing something like product photography. You want to set your light and you want to get it dialed in just right. Some of the less expensive lights won't start at 1%. Or if they say 1%, it's this really tiny increment, and then all of a sudden it'll jump at 5 or 10% and then be more adjustable. This has a very, very smooth adjustment, 1% increments all the way from 0% to 100%. So I'll crank this guy up to 100% there, kind of blow out my camera, I'm sure. But I'll crank it down back to, let's just go 50% because it's rather bright in here right now. So very nice as a little key light, as a fill light, hair light, rim light, background light, whatever you want to use this for. Very good application because of this diffuser. Now with some of these, even though they have a diffuser panel on them, that is sitting right on top of the LEDs. So its effectiveness really isn't that good. The fact that this diffuser is sitting about a ½ inch above the LEDs makes it way more effective. I'm gonna go ahead and turn this off so I don't actually look at the LEDs on accident while I'm adjusting it. Now there's one more accessory in the box that I wasn't expecting. When they told me about this light and they sent me the information about it, I didn't know that there was this diffuser. I thought that was a really cool bonus that I wasn't aware of. But what's left in here, I think, is super special. And that's a honeycomb grid. Now, if you're not familiar with a honeycomb grid, let me kind of give you a brief few second, well, it's gonna be more than a few second, kind of lesson on what these are. A diffuser is designed to soften the light, broaden it out, just not be so direct. It's supposed to open up the light, giving you softer shadows, more spill on the background and things like that. A honeycomb is the exact opposite. This one, like I said, it's probably about a ½ inch tall. So it's trying to not have spill. It's trying to give you very directional light. Now I'm going to show you a photo here that I took just real quick of myself last night without the diffuser, with the diffuser, and with the honeycomb grid, so you can see how you can use these different modifiers when you're doing lighting. So again, this just slips right on. Now, as I mentioned with the diffuser, it had a tendency to slip down when it was in this vertical mode. The honeycomb grid is even heavier, so it definitely has a tendency to do it a little bit more. I think my solution is just going to be to put a little tab of Velcro on the two ends and on the inside of the panel so that when I have it on there, it's going to stick and not move at all. So, or maybe even just some foam just to give it a little extra resistance. Something to keep it from sliding, because it doesn't take much that over time this will shift down. So I'm going to go ahead and I'll power this back on, and I'll just do a little quick light test here. So I am very, very impressed that this came with a honeycomb. I've already used it on a couple product videos that I've done for my other company. Very impressed with this thing. So couldn't be happier with this particular thing. All right, so now let's get into the light features itself. Let me take that off, get this out of the way. Now, if you look on the side of the box here, it lists, I believe, 18 special effects modes. So I'm going to do my best to run through these without this taking a couple hours worth of time. I'm on 50% power. I'm going to bump that down. So right now I'm in the color temperature control mode. So I can go from, let's go all the way down to 2500K, which is a very, very warm light, all the way up to, let's crank this guy up to 9,000. So very, very cool light. Now, I haven't seen that broad of a range of color temperature on any of the lights in this class. They're going to go from 3,000 to 6,000, 3,000 to 8,000, things like that, but not this broad of a temperature range. So this gives you a lot of control. I can really make it look kind of cold, you know, by using a blue light. I can make it look really warm with the warm light. I can actually use that as a, you know, as a background light. It's just so orange. So a lot of control that I have just because of this dynamic range of the color temperature. Now I'm going to hit the set button again, and now I'm in HSI, which is hue, saturation, and intensity. So I'm going to push the function button, and that's going to allow me to adjust the hue, which is the color. So I'm at 279 right now, and I'll just hold that down. We get into the blue range, teal, should get into the greens, yellows, and reds, purples, and then it rotates back around. So I'm going to find a nice vibrant color, and these colors are, oh wow, I looked at it, extremely vibrant, extremely vibrant lights. I tap the function again, and now I'm in saturation mode. So it was at 100%. I can crank that down to 0% and basically have a white light, or I can crank it all the way back up to 100% and have that very vibrant light. Tap it again to get out of that mode, and now I have access to the intensity switch, so I can adjust the power output. So very easy adjustments, very intuitive looking at the LED. So now I'm going to hit the set button again, and it says scene off. So I have nothing on here right now. The function switch going up or down will allow me to change scenes. So let's go to scene 1, and I'm going to look down here once in a while to read them. Scene 1 is a flashing blue and red, which is for a police car effect. Scene 2 is Ambulence, which is blue and white. 3 is Firetruck, which is red and white. I gotta not look at it. That's very blinding. We go to the next one, which is Lightning number 1. So if this is off scene, you know, making it look like there's a storm outside. 5 is Lightning 2, which is a little faster, a little more often. We have what's called HSI Demo, which just kind of softly goes across the hue spectrum, changing things. So you might be able to find some purpose for that. Scene 7 is HSI Demo in Fast. So same thing, just going to rotate through the colors a little faster. 8 is kind of a whitish blue kind of a tone. So if you want to make it look like somebody was watching a TV screen, this would be a good effect for that. Then we have the candle scene. So I could, if I was trying to read by candlelight, or a romantic scene in front of a fireplace or a fire pit, campfire, things like that, this could be a good practical effect for that. The paparazzi, so I'm coming off the red carpet, the lights are popping like crazy, so the little paparazzi effect. Just a strobe. I wish the strobe was adjustable. It's the only thing that really kind of bugged me about this, is nothing has any effect on the intensity of the strobe, and this could be very useful for different things if that strobe was actually adjustable. 12 is just a high and low beam switch, nothing too exciting there. 13 they call double flash, which this reminds me of a construction site, hazard warnings, stuff on the freeway that, you know, just to give you a warning sign. So this one could actually be fairly useful in certain applications. And then we have a red flash, a green flash, blue flash, And then 17 is party number 1, which is kind of just a slow party atmosphere kind of look. 18 is party 2, which is a little bit faster, a little more upbeat on that. Now, according to the manual, according to the box, according to the user manual, that's it. 18 special effects. But in this one, there's actually more. So we're going to go to 19, which is called, I believe this is called Heartbeat or something like that. And it just a pulsating like heartbeat kind of a shot. 20 is RGB crazy mode. So total party rave scene type effect here. And then it goes to off. Whew, boy, that makes my eyes twitch. Now, a couple things that I think would be super cool is if they came out with an app that I could connect. I mean, there's no Bluetooth or wireless in here, so it would probably have to be a computer app or something that I could upload my own profiles to. That would be cool. It is neat that they have upgraded this since they announced it. There were 18 effects, there's now 20 effects. Being able to do things like adjusting the strobe frequency would be very cool, and the strobe intensity would be nice. So I don't know if those are things that are possible to make user accessible, but I think that would really set this apart from anything else that's going to hit the market anytime soon. Now, this is quite a bit heavier than the bowling, but so what? It's bigger and it's got a bigger battery and everything else. They claim it is splash proof. I'm not going to test that out, hopefully. But maybe if I get caught in an unexpected rain, I don't have to panic so much about getting to it. Other than the USB port being exposed, I'd be a little concerned about that, and the controls, water getting in there. But overall, it's a very nicely designed package. Now, for $149, I don't think there's a better value in an LED light. And I know I said that about the Bowling P1 because at $139, I meant it. But now the FalconEyes for $10 more, giving you a bigger light source, more battery, more special effects, a broader range on the color temperature control, the diffuser, the honeycomb grid. That's well more than $10 in additional value. So my pick right now for best value out there is going to be the FalconEyes PocketLite F7. You cannot go wrong with this light. This morning, I did a little video shoot with some friends. They all saw this and went, oh, I need to have a couple of those. It is so useful as a regular light source. It's super practical as a practical light to just throw some color somewhere. I'll throw a little video clip here so you can see what we did with color on one side, light coming up from a colored light from the bottom, different practical effects that we did without having to do weird coloring and post-production we were able to do just because of having this light handy. So that's my recommendation for the FalconEyes F7 Pocket Light. I highly recommend you get one if you need any type of light source, key light, rim light, hair light, backlight, practical light, special effects light. The FalconEyes F7 Pocket Light is a clear winner right now. Maybe something else will come out and best it, but right now, this is an awesome, awesome choice. Check out their website, link below, link in the description. I'll have purchasing links on where to get this thing in the description as well. Thanks FalconEyes for sending this guy over. Very, very impressed with this. I know I'm going to be purchasing a couple of these just for myself. This is just a phenomenal light. Thanks everybody. Thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing. Thanks for checking that bell icon so you get notified every time we put out a new video. Join the discussion at facebook.com/groups/Filmmaker Central. And don't forget the website at filmmakercentral.com, where there's more than just these videos. I post photography and videography news as it happens. Thanks for watching, everybody. This has been Kerry. I'll catch you later. Bye-bye.